Hey, we're here in Caesarea Maritima. This is the site that Herod built to honor Caesar Augustus. So therefore it's called Caesarea. And this is a beautiful day. I mean, it's almost 80 degrees out here today. And the reason I'm saying that is because last time we were here it was just raining cats and dogs, and we weren't able to spend a lot of time here. But there was a lot of interesting things that happened here that are of biblical importance. This was a sort of a connection place between Rome and Jerusalem. And so as you can see, they would come out to the harbor and they would moor. Their boats would moor just out the harbor here. And they would have to pass through Caesarea in order to come into Israel. And Herod built this place, as I said, to honor Caesar. One of the interesting things that happened here, we're standing in the palace that Herod built. And these pillars would represent the second story of the palace. And this would be the bottom floor, which is where all the gathering would be done, all the investigation and all of the testimony would be given here. And I wanted to just point out a few things that happened in this place. I think she's now shooting, Pam's shooting the horse arena over here, which is still a wonderful site, archaeological site. You can see down the sandy area where the horses would be. So this was quite a place that was built before the time of Christ. And one of the interesting things that happened here was Paul had to come here, the Apostle Paul, in Acts chapter 23. You can read about this in Acts 23 through 26. The Apostle Paul had to come here to give his testimony, to give his defense, rather, before King Agrippa. Now this is Agrippa II, and Felix, who was the governor of this area, and also Bernice, his sister. And it's kind of interesting because I think this is one of the interesting things about this site. Paul could have said a lot of things to defend himself, but what he did was he gave his personal testimony of how he came to Christ in front of Agrippa. He talked about what he was before he met Christ. He talked about how he met Christ on the Damascus Road. And then he talked about what Christ means to his life now. And in that story, Agrippa says, Paul, in a short time, you are going to persuade me to become a Christian. And I thought that's an incredible passage, because Paul could have said a lot of things to defend himself, but he gave his testimony before Agrippa. And I think that's a lesson for you and I, that the power of our personal testimony should not be undervalued, that our testimony is powerful, and God can use it to bring people to know Him. And so I wanted to share that teaching from this beautiful site. We're having a great time, great weather, everybody's doing fine, and we'll talk to you again pretty soon. But before I go, just remember, your testimony is a powerful thing, and God wants to use it for His glory.